Hi, my name is Steve and welcome to my workshop. This is my sixth and final video about this particular sculpture. If you haven't seen any of the previous ones, then this is a piece of cedar that I have been carving, and I've been doing this alongside writing an article about the relationship between counselling and coaching, because I'm a counsellor, therapist, and sculpting. And the article comes out tomorrow. So although this isn't quite finished, it needs to be finished as far as being ready to go on my website, so that people who read the article and are interested to see the sculpture can come and have a look. So what to say? So I've been using the direct carving approach, what I would call it, whereby I choose a piece of material, I look at it, I decide what I'm inclined to do with it, I do that thing, I then look at it again, decide what I think to do next, and so on, until I get to a point when I've resolved all the kind of questions about what it is I'm doing, and I complete the piece. So this one started out as a fairly square piece of wood. My first thought was I wanted to make it round, so I turned it on a lathe, having cut some of the bits off and having chiselled some of the bits off to get used to the idea of this piece, get a hang of this bit of wood and how it's behaving. And I then had this wish to make this spiral shape. It's actually a double spiral. There's a small one coming in there, and there's one coming in here that goes all the way around, and it goes down and through. And it felt very important to connect the two sides of the piece of wood, the two sides of the sculpture. So they're connected by the hole that goes from the top here and comes out underneath here, and I'll show you what's underneath in a moment. Unusually for me, this particular sculpture is not going to have a base. What it's actually going to have is a cushion that it sits on, and the reason for that is because I feel quite strongly that particularly this side of it, I want to show it in a horizontal frame, horizontal plane, not a vertical one. And obviously if it's horizontal you can't see the other side at all, and there is something on the other side. It's very deliberately and intentionally two-sided piece. A two-sided piece contained within this outer ring. Yep. So it's virtually complete, other than there is still some more sanding to be done. So my sandpaper is around, and it will need a finish. So I will put some sanding sealer on it, and then a couple of layers of wax polish, beeswax polish. So that's this side of it. You possibly can see it better if I lift it, so you can actually see the spiral. It's a shape that I play around with quite a bit. I like it in different formats. And when it came to carving the other side, I started from this hole, which is the hole that comes through from here, and then it kind of panned out from there. So this is what's on the other side. It's not intended to be representational, it's not intended to be human, it's simply part of a face. And it came about because this piece here that goes through, it just had the look of a nostril to me, and so I worked from there. So that's what it is. Like the other side, there's quite a lot of sanding needed to remove scratch marks and little dints here and there, which are fairly visible from as close as I am, probably less visible to you, but they're there, and they will stand out even more once I put a finish on. So I really want to spend the time that I need to get it to a level of finish that I'm happy with. Arguably we never quite finish a piece like this, we just get to a point of deciding that's as much as I'm doing on it. So I want to get to that's as much as I'm doing on it, stage naturally, and not kind of preempt that by feeling I've got to finish it because of a deadline. So that's it. The other one piece of sculpting that I expect to do on it is to create an iris and then a pupil on each of the eyes. It's sensible to do that as the very last thing I do, because it's always possible, you know, if suddenly a bit of kind of a bit of the wood around here, eyelid or whatever, were to break and I've got to reshape it a bit, then the iris and the pupil might be in the wrong place. So I want to get to a point when everything else is done, everything else is finished apart from putting a finish on it, and then I will do what I decide to do with the eyes, and then I will put a finish on it, and it will be complete, and it will then reside on its lovely cushion that I have for it, so that it can sit, has something nice and soft to sit on, so that the underside doesn't get damaged when it's in resting state. Okay, so thanks very much for watching, and I'm sure I will make another video at some point about another of my sculptures. Thanks a lot. Bye.